it's something you always did, and it's part. It goes with the, I guess, with the territory, doesn't it? Yes.
Angus Young is a famous Scottish-born Australian musician, songwriter, guitarist, film score composer, and record producer, who's best known as the co-founder, songwriter, and lead guitarist of the hard rock band AC/DC. This successful guitarist is famous for his schoolboy uniform stage outfits, energetic performances, and his version of Duck Walk of Chuck Berry. Rolling Stone magazine has ranked him number 24 on its 100 greatest guitarists of all time. Back in the year 2003, Angus, along with other members of the hard rock band AC/DC, were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Young's considered to be the 14th best-selling artist in the world, with more than 200 million records sold worldwide. With AC/DC, Angus has won several awards, including a Grammy Award, a Rock on Request Award, a Metal Storm Award, 4 Classic Rock Roll Honor Awards, and 2 UK Music Video Awards.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, we enjoy it, and we're lucky. I mean, we get a lot more comfort. So over the years.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Angus McKinnon Young, but he's also known as the Guitar God and A-Bomb. He was born March 31st, 1955 in Glasgow, Scotland, making him 65 at the time of this production. He stands 5 feet 2 inches tall, or 1.575 meters. The star sign of Angus Young is Aries, and he weighs approximately 65 kilograms, or 143 pounds. Discussing the religious beliefs of Young, he's Catholic. In 2012, Angus was named Best Australian Guitarist of All Time in a poll which was conducted by Australian Guitar Magazine. Back in 1988, all members of AC/DC were inducted into the ARIA Hall of Fame. While Young's bandmates were known for being hard partiers, Angus is actually a teetotaler. AC/DC singer Bon Scott was popular for his wild partying, and Malcolm Young was a huge fan of Jack Daniels. However, Angus does not drink at all. He can only ever be seen chugging back a cold glass of chocolate milk or a cup of coffee. Back in 1970, this guitarist purchased his first Gibson SG from a secondhand shop and still owns it. Angus has said it's still his favorite guitar, and he not only loves rock and roll, but is a huge fan of jazz. Young is a fan of Louis Armstrong and calls him one of the greatest musicians of all time. Although several guitarists think solos are the most challenging part of the job, Young says it's the easiest part. Young says that the most challenging part is to play together with several people. The members of AC/DC were consumed with grief over Bon Scott's death. The keyboardist Keith Emerson took Young and other members out on his fishing boat to help them through the shock of their friend's sudden death. Young became great friends with Keith. Unfortunately, Keith died in 2016. Did you know that Malcolm never allowed Angus to jam with him or even hear him play? Angus has said that when he would walk in to see Malcolm playing, Malcolm would say, "Get out!" Now, it's hard to imagine AC/DC without Malcolm and Angus Young. Unfortunately, Malcolm passed away in 2017 from dementia. Then in 2019, Angus donated $19,260 to the Alzheimer's Society of Toronto when Canadian hockey referee Steve McNeil raised funds in honor of Malcolm and his mother. Back in 1979, he started dating a Dutch woman, Ellen von Lochem. The pair got married 6 months later and still live together.
We have a lot of cross generations. We've got people who come from the 70s time, 80s time, 90s, 2000.
He was born to William Young and Margaret Young. William and his family used to live in Cranehill, Glasgow, Scotland. Previously, William was a wheelboy in rope works and then worked as a machine operator in the cement business. Then in 1940, Angus's father joined the Royal Air Force and served in World War II as a flight engine mechanic. Then William worked as a yardman, and Margaret was a housewife. Angus is the youngest child of his parents, and he had 7 siblings: Stephen, William Jr., Alex, John, Malcolm, and George were his brothers, while Margaret Horsburgh was his only sister. Angus's oldest brother was the father of Stevie Young, who also played with AC/DC. The family moved to Sydney after the Big Freeze in 1963. Angus first started playing on a banjo, then started playing guitar. He attended Ashfield Boys High School and dropped out of school when he was 15. This successful guitarist started his music career in the Marcus Hook Roll Band. Angus and Malcolm were in this band, and their brother George and his music partner Harry Vanda. In 1973, they released an album titled Tales of Old Granddaddy in Australia. Then, Angus played in a local band known as Kentucky, which later was called Tantrum. In 1973, Angus and Malcolm formed the band AC/DC, which later became one of the most successful bands on the planet. At that time, Angus was 18 years old. Malcolm became the rhythm guitarist, while Angus was the lead guitarist of this band. The band also included drummer Colin Burgess, bass guitarist Larry Von Crete, and vocalist Dave Evans. AC/DC released their first single titled Can I Sit Next to You Girl, which was later re-recorded with Bon Scott. Young sister Margaret suggested the name AC/DC after seeing these letters on her sewing machine's back. In 1975, the band released their debut album titled High Voltage, which was a huge success. AC/DC became a popular hard rock act in the next few years, and the band released albums such as TNT, Let There Be Rock, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and Powerage. TNT reached number 2 on the ARIA charts and was certified 9 times platinum in Australia. The album High Voltage was released internationally in 1976 and was certified platinum or gold in a number of countries. Unfortunately, Bon Scott died due to alcohol poisoning in 1980, and AC/DC had to record their album titled Back in Black with vocalist Brian Johnson. This album was the most successful album of this band. Although the band was losing popularity in the 1980s, it again became popular with this album, The Razor's Edge, which was released in 1990. This album went 5 times platinum in Canada, Australia, and the United States. In 2000, the band released the album Stiff Upper Lip, and in 2008, the album called Black Ice was released. In 2014, Malcolm left the band, and by 2016, Brian Johnson and Phil Rudd had also left the band. This year, the band announced on Twitter that they would release the pending album Power Up, with a lineup of Angus, Brian, Cliff Williams, Phil Rudd, and Stevie Young.
Their sons and daughters, and you've got people bringing their grandchildren, so we've got this whole generations out there. You know.
Angus has primarily accumulated his net worth as a guitarist and a musician. Back in 1975, AC/DC released the album High Voltage, which earned a 5-time platinum record in Australia. Angus earned $350 from this album, and in 1976, this album helped him make $3 million. The total net worth of Angus Young is $160 million. Back in 2007, Young, along with Ellen, designed a mansion in a small Dutch town, Alton. This 3-story mansion features a recording studio, multiple guest rooms, and a massive backyard. Angus also owns a house in the Kangaroo Point area of Sydney. Currently, he lives in his house in Sutherlandshire, Sydney, along with Ellen. Angus and Ellen own several homes in the Netherlands, the UK, and Australia. A Bentley Thunderguts. Angus Young likely owns the following cars: a Ferrari, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Cadillac Escalade,